Hey everyone, and welcome to another deep dive. We're always trying to get to the bottom of interesting topics, and well, this one's all about marriage, or, well, actually more about when people are getting married these days.
Yeah, you provided some really interesting research on this whole trend of people tying the knot later in life.
Exactly. It's called Rising First Marriage Ages in the United States
Yeah.
Causes Trends and Future Outlook. Catchy title, right?
Definitely grabs your attention. It's funny because I was just thinking about how different things are now compared to like back in the early 1900s.
Oh yeah, back then, getting married in your early 20s was like the norm, especially for women.
Totally. But now the average age of first marriage in the U.S. is closer to 30. So what happened? What's driving this shift?
Awesome.
Yeah.
Are you ready to dive in?
Yeah, let's do it.
Welcome to Gender Decoded, where numbers align, seeing the stories that data defines. Breaking the barriers, truth untold, insights in gender, the data force.
Getting married straight out of high school or college. It feels like ancient history now, right?
Yeah.
These days, you're way more likely to see people hitting their late 20s or even 30s before they say, I do, for the first time.
Right.
So what's the deal with this whole shift? Well, that's exactly what we're diving deep into today. The rising age of first marriage in the U.S.
Okay.
We're going to be looking at some really interesting research. A paper, actually, called Rising First Marriage Ages in the United States Causes Trends and Future Outlook.
Oh.
Okay? It's going to help us really understand what's driving this whole trend.
Yeah.
So I am pumped to unpack this with you.
Well, what's so fascinating about this is it's not like a random thing happening. It actually reflects some like massive shifts in our society that have been building for a century.
Wow.
To really get it, we need to like step back in time a bit. Okay? Imagine this. Back in the early 1900s, the median age for a first marriage was in the early 20s for men,
Wow.
even younger for women.
That's pretty different from what we see today.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder what could have caused such a dramatic shift. What were like the big turning points?
Well, if you think about it, the early 1900s was like peak traditional gender roles.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Marriage was pretty much a given before starting a family and building a life together.
Right.
But as the 20th century rolled on, things started to like shake up those norms.
Yeah.
Like think about the Great Depression in the 1930s.
Right.
That total economic hardship forced couples to just put off marriage because they couldn't afford it.
Yeah.
And then World War II hits and marriage plans got totally disrupted again.
Right.
This time by the realities of war and deployment.
It's amazing how these huge world events had such a direct impact on something as personal as marriage.
Yeah,
I bet those experiences totally shaped how later generations thought about marriage, too.
for sure. And then get this. After the war, we see this crazy cultural pendulum swing.
Okay.
The 1950s and 60s boom, post-war economic boom.
Yeah.
And a huge comeback for traditional family values.
Mm-hmm.
All of a sudden, getting married young and having a family wasn't just easier financially. It was like the thing to do.
Right.
Think about all those classic images of the nuclear family and the white picket fence.
Yeah.
Total ideal back then.
Okay, so we have this period of early marriage driven by economic prosperity and those traditional values.
Yeah.
But I have a feeling that didn't last forever.
You got it. Things started shifting again in the 1970s with the second wave of feminism and just like social norms changing.
Right.
Women entered the workforce in huge numbers, pursued higher education, got more control over their reproductive choices, thanks to the birth control pill.
Wow.
All this led to women delaying marriage to focus on their own goals, personal and professional.
That totally makes sense. It's like a whole new era of independence and self-discovery was happening.
Yeah.
Did these trends keep going into the late 20th century?
Totally. As we hit the 1980s and 90s, living together before marriage, cohabitation became more and more common.
Right.
It was a way to like test drive the whole partnership thing. Without all the legal and social pressure of marriage,
Right.
at the same time, being single was way less stigmatized.
Yeah.
No one felt like they had to get married anymore.
So it was more about making the choice to get married,
Exactly.
not just doing what society expected.
Right.
But what about the economic side of things during those decades?
Yeah.
Did that play a role in all this?
Oh, absolutely. Stuff like rising housing costs, needing two incomes to live comfortably,
Right.
and student loan debt exploding. It all made financial stability a huge deal.
Yeah.
People had to prioritize their careers and getting financially secure before even thinking about marriage.
It's like all these pieces, social, cultural, economic, were coming together to create this new normal of putting off marriage.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing that trend is still going strong today.
Totally spot on. And actually, the research paper we're looking at today, it points out some really interesting nuances within these big trends.
Oh, cool.
Want to hear more about them?
Yeah, absolutely. Tell me, what are some of the specific patterns we see in marriage these days?
Well, for one, couples with more education tend to get married even later than those without college degrees.
Okay.
Makes sense when you think about it. They're spending more time in school, building their careers before settling down.
It's like they're investing in themselves first.
Exactly. And we also see differences based on where people live.
Okay.
People in cities, urbanites, tend to marry later than folks in rural areas.
Huh. Interesting. So like where you live can actually influence how you think about marriage.
Yeah. And then there's the whole technology piece of the puzzle.
Oh, yeah?
Can't forget about that.
Of course not.
Social media and dating apps have completely changed the game.
Right.
Some people argue that having so many potential partners online might actually be making people take longer to find the one.
Yeah.
And that delays marriage even more.
It's like the paradox of choice.
Right.
More options can actually make it harder to decide.
Yeah.
I bet our listeners can relate to that.
For sure.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here.
Yeah.
We've seen how the age of first marriage has totally changed over the past century.
Right.
And we've explored what's driving those changes.
Yeah.
But here's what I'm really curious about. Where do we go from here?
Right.
What's in store for marriage?
Yeah.
With all these social and economic shifts happening,
Yeah.
what's the future look like?
Well, that's a great question. And it's exactly what this research paper tackles head on.
Okay.
It lays out some possible scenarios for the future of marriage.
Okay. And they all raise some really thought-provoking questions.
Yeah.
Well, don't leave us hanging. What are some of those potential scenarios? What might the future of marriage actually look like?
All right, well, one possibility is that the age keeps going up, but maybe not as fast, you know?
Right.
Like as getting married in your early 30s becomes the norm.
Yeah.
It might slow down a bit,
So we might be reaching like a plateau.
maybe. Another interesting thought is what we even consider a traditional relationship, that could keep changing. Marriage might still be important culturally, but being single, living together before marriage, having kids without getting married,
Yeah.
all of that's becoming more accepted. So the pressure to get married might just keep fading.
It's like the whole definition of partnership is evolving.
Right.
Marriage is just one option out of many.
Exactly.
Makes you think, how does this shift affect our communities? You know, the way we live together.
That's a great point. And one outcome could be a more diverse and inclusive society
Okay.
as marriage becomes less tied to age or certain life stages.
Yeah.
It opens up all these possibilities for different kinds of relationships.
Right. So we might see more couples choosing to not get married,
Right.
but still fully committed to each other.
Right.
Or maybe more people blending families later in life.
Exactly. It's all about flexibility and accepting different paths to partnership and family.
Right.
This could lead to a society that's more accepting of individual choices, less bound by traditional norms.
Okay.
And then there's the economic side of things.
Oh, yeah. How could these changing marriage patterns impact the economy?
Well, think about this. If people wait longer to get married and start families,
Yeah.
they spend more years in the workforce as single people.
So they're contributing more to the economy.
Exactly. More disposable income to spend,
Mm-hmm.
which can boost economic growth.
Okay.
And they're investing in their careers and education. So they're gaining skills and earning potential, which ultimately helps the economy as a whole.
So it's a win-win for both individuals and the economy.
It could be, but of course, there are also potential downsides.
Right.
Like one concern is, as people delay marriage and having kids, the birth rate might keep going down,
Yeah.
which could have long-term effects on things like population growth
Yeah.
and how we support social safety nets.
That's a good point. It's like trying to balance things out.
Right.
We see these positive changes, more individual freedom and economic power,
Yeah.
But there are also potential consequences to think about.
Absolutely. And it's crucial to remember that while putting off marriage might have some benefits, it also comes with its own challenges.
Right.
Loneliness, for example, can be a real struggle for people who are looking for a partner but haven't found the right one yet.
Right.
And there's still pressure from society,
Yeah.
even if those expectations are changing.
Yeah, totally. It's not a simple answer.
Right.
And there are definitely pros and cons to consider.
For sure.
But what I find really interesting in all this is that it's not just about shifting timelines.
Right.
It's making us rethink what marriage even means in today's world.
Yeah.
How do you see the meaning of marriage evolving with all these changes happening?
That's where things get really fascinating. You see, in the past, marriage was often seen as like a ticket to adulthood,
Right.
a step you had to take before starting a family, buying a home.
Like checking off boxes on a list.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But now, it seems like those boxes are getting rearranged or even thrown out completely.
So where does marriage fit in now?
It becomes a conscious choice, a deliberate commitment between two people who are already independent and self-sufficient. It's less about societal expectations and more about personal values and shared goals.
I see what you mean. It's like marriage is shifting from a starting point to a destination you reach after you've built a foundation.
Precisely. And that shift has some really important implications. Like, for one, it could mean that marriages are stronger and more resilient because they're built on mutual respect, shared values, and a genuine desire to be together.
Because you're choosing that commitment after you've explored your own identity and goals.
Yeah.
You're bringing a more complete self to the partnership.
Exactly. And don't forget the financial aspect.
Right.
If couples are more financially stable when they get married,
Yeah.
that can definitely reduce stress and conflict.
Makes sense.
So some people might worry that delaying marriage means less commitment
Right.
or that the institution of marriage is weakening,
Yeah.
but it could actually be the opposite.
That's like quality over quantity.
I love that analogy. It's about taking the time to build a strong foundation for a lasting and meaningful partnership, however that partnership looks.
Right.
And this brings us to a really interesting question that this research paper asks.
Okay. A thought-provoking question to wrap things up.
Exactly.
Hit me with it.
The paper asks, if marriage isn't tied to age or specific life stages the way it used to be,
Yeah.
what does that mean for the future of commitment and partnership?
Whoa. That's a big one.
It is. It really makes you think about how relationships might change in the years to come.
Right.
Will we see even more diverse forms of commitment?
Hmm.
Will people create their own custom relationship contracts,
Wow.
outlining their unique vision for partnership?
Yeah.
Or will marriage adapt and redefine itself to stay relevant in this new landscape?
It's like we're exploring uncharted territory.
Right.
It's exciting, but also a little daunting.
Yeah.
But I think the most important thing is that we're having these conversations, challenging assumptions and realizing that there's no one-size-fits-all approach to love and commitment.
I couldn't agree more.
And that's a perfect note to end on. It's pretty amazing to think we get to decide what commitment and partnership mean for us.
Yeah, it is. And realizing there's no one right way to have a successful relationship,
Yeah.
that's huge.
It is. So as we wrap up this deep dive into the rising age of first marriage, what's the big takeaway for our listeners?
What should they be thinking about as they figure out this new world of relationships?
Right.
Well, if there's one thing you remember from today, I hope it's this. There's no right or wrong answer when it comes to marriage.
Okay.
It's all about finding what works for you and your partner. And that might be totally different for everyone.
It's about trusting your gut and making choices that feel right for you based on your values and goals.
Exactly. Don't let societal pressures or those old timelines tell you what to do. Instead, focus on building solid relationships, whether they lead to marriage or something else. Find those connections that have mutual respect, shared values, and a real desire for a fulfilling partnership.
What's so cool to me is we're not just talking about when people get married.
Right.
We're seeing a fundamental shift in how we view love, commitment, family.
Yeah.
And that opens up so many possibilities for the future.
It really does. We're moving towards a much deeper and more individual understanding of what it means to be in a committed relationship.
Yeah,
And that's a beautiful thing.
it really is. So as we sign off today, we want to leave you with a challenge.
Okay.
Think about your own vision for relationships. What does commitment mean to you? What kind of partnership do you want to create? And how can you help build a society that accepts all kinds of relationship models?
And those are big questions. And there are no easy answers.
Right.
But by having these conversations, challenging our assumptions, staying open to new possibilities,
Yeah.
we can create a future where all relationships can thrive.
We hope this deep dive got you thinking and gave you some food for thought as you navigate the world of love and commitment.
Thanks for joining us on this exploration.
Until next time, keep diving deep.